evening. This is the Historic District Commission of the City of Westminster. We're meeting Wednesday, October 1st, 2025 at 6 o'clock at City Hall in downtown Westminster. I'm going to start us out with their call up to order, our statement of authority, which is the Westminster Historic District Commission derives its authority from Chapter 164, Article 98 of the City Code, which is authorized by the Maryland Code Annotated Land Use Article Division 1, Single Jurisdiction, Planning and Zoning, Title 8, Historic Preservation. The qualifications of the Westminster Historic District Commission are on file at the City Administration Building at 45 West Main Street. The file is open to the public. I'd like to do a quick roll call so we all know who's here. Kathy Baby, Chris McMaster's chair.
Grace Kelly Lawler.
Melissa Thorne, city staff.
Mark Pipo, Director of Planning for the City.
Thank you very much. Okay, great. So let's begin. We have an item of old business, which is a post-construction application for the historic rehabilitation tax credit for 31 West Main Street in the rear. It's TC 25-01. Ms. Thorne, would you like to speak about this on behalf of the city?
Sure. We received a post-construction application for this property on September 11th. And the applicant submitting it is here tonight as we follow up if you have any additional questions. The final amount of the work was the same as the original proposal, $95,902. The work was completed within the 24 months of the commission's granted preliminary approval. And the work that was completed, according to my review, was completed as approved. So as a reminder, Westminster Glass and Mirror furnished and installed east and west side windows in 14 units in total. There were 13 on the south side and, 1 on the south side and 13 on the east and west. Each window has 3 vertical sections. Actually, I have pictures I can be flipping through. Here's the location. So here is during construction of the window installation. So as you can see, we had a large discussion on the color and different things. We ended up with, the manufacturer called it clear. It's a gray color aluminum and it matches what closely was found there. Oh, sorry, moving on. So this was the final look from the inside, and staff recommends tonight that the commission review the post-construction application for historic rehabilitation property tax credits TC 2501 and other documentation provided by the applicant for 31 West Main Street rear to determine whether the completed work is eligible work and in accordance with the preliminary approval of the certificate of eligibility, and 2, that the original approved amount of $9,590.20 is acceptable. And I have 3 draft motions there ready to go.
Okay. So usually this is a good time to ask if our commissioners have any questions.
No, I think it looks great.
I kind of like it better.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I do too.
It's light.
Right, yeah, I think it looks really nice.
Honestly, I do too. It doesn't have that weird industrial look to it. It's got a brightness to it. So I like that. All right, commissioners, I will draw your attention to the draft motions we have before us. We have a number 1 motion, which basically accepts the project as presented. We have a number 2 that basically denies the project as presented. And we have a draft motion number 3 that has some sort of alternate motion. So I look to my commissioners to offer one of these 3 motions.
I move that we accept motion number 1.
I second.
Second, do we have any discussion about draft motion number 1? And Melissa, that's acceptable to just say draft motion number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a long paragraph. All right, hearing no concerns or questions, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
And there would be no negatives. It's just 2 of the 3 of us here tonight. So you've been accepted for, and I'm assuming you're here for this as well.
Tax, yeah.
That's how quick that happened.
Very good.
right on
Thank
through. Nobody can say we're a slow group. So, all right, Melissa, thank you very much. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. That's
So-
a great ride, actually.
We'll just follow up once you pay your property taxes,
Okay.
show those to us. And then if we get a signature tonight, we can send it through our finance department.
All you have to do is demonstrate you're up to date on your taxes. So I don't know,
That'll be
pay my
next month.
taxes in July.
Expensive.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you're current, then you can go and claim the tax credits.
Okay.
Alright, great. All right, next item of business is the Historic District Commission Implementation Plan. Do we have anything new from Ms. Melissa?
Oh, for the implementation plan. No, we do not. And I don't have any control over that, so I appreciate your patience.
I have been sending through some stuff.
I've seen that.
And I want to thank Kathy Beatty for her contributions. What I get is usually I ask a question of Kathy, like, do we know what the address is where the president spoke on Main Street? Do we know the address where Frederick Douglass spoke on Main Street so that we can put that little X on the map and add to the downtown business that had that? And maybe on President's Day, they can say, here's where Teddy Roosevelt stood and addressed the crowds, or here's where whatever. And to me, that's just a little piece of history unmasked. I'm going to ask you officially for 2 more addresses. Sure. Ready?
Yeah, what do you need?
I would like to know where both issues with the Free Press happened. I understand there were 2 issues. One at the Opera House, where a guy was murdered in the back alley because they didn't like his opinions.
Okay,
And then there was another smashing of
the editor,
yeah,
whose name I cannot recall at the moment.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that one. Did you give? There used to be a booking tour for that murder of the editor. Did that?
Was he in the ghost stories or what?
No, do you have a copy of Carroll County Newspaper Wars? I'll see if I can find the editor.
Who also might have 2 cents to add is Kevin Dayhoff, because he seemed to have more of it right off the top of his head than I did. For example, I only remembered 1 incident and he remembered 2. So that's why I'm thinking, and there were 2 different addresses. Kevin is
Yeah, and I
more
can
than
look.
likely to be helpful.
Unfortunately, the Collections Hub doesn't give you every time you search for anything, it finds everything on I searched for one term and I got 3,000 something or other hits, which was the entire Collections Hub. But if I go to the Times and I search through the Carol Yesteryear's articles, which is how I got the one about the Whiskey Boys, then I can go find the full thing someplace else. So I'm pretty sure we must have written about that during the Civil War, so it might even be in just South Gettysburg.
Anyway,
So I'll look for those again.
then that's a Main Street thing. Might add to the body of history and stories that people on Main Street might want to talk about someday. About their own address, they do not know that.
But somebody got murdered then?
Well, murder happened, I think, in the back alley, south.
Yeah, there was one behind the Opera House where a guy who was a comedian in a vaudeville show made comments that the mob didn't like, and he was murdered in the alley after the performance. And the other one that she's talking about is one of the editors of the local newspaper, who was a Confederate sympathizer, had the unfortunate timing to write an editorial saying somebody should get rid of Lincoln, that ran like the day after Lincoln's assassination. And so a mob smashed his presses. He was murdered in one of the local hotels. Wow. And even though they knew everybody who did it, they all got off at the trial. None of them were convicted.
Scot-free press.
So,
Things happen in history, that's kind of interesting.
well, things, are still happening where freedom of speech can get you in trouble.
That's right.
But yeah, those were probably the 2 that you.
At any rate, I thought that might be a couple more interesting locations in town in the historic district, worth noting. Okay. Also, I've been sending through a couple of things. I found a county brochure which had some places for African Americans in the city of Westminster. And then I found another little write-up, and so I sent that through for African American stories for the implementation plan.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's actually very thin written evidence about stuff. I mean, I just keep looking, but I'm not finding much. And I don't like to give just oral history because it's not my history, right? So if we get someone who would like to offer oral history, that would be great, but I prefer to do written things and offer it to the team, and then they can look for someone who's got some critical local oral
Is there
history.
anything through the Carroll History Project, oral histories, through the Black Experience part?
I would have to look for downtown Westminster.
I don't know if they're indexed or anything.
I don't think they are. I think they're more countywide in scope.
Oh, well, some of them are, but you might, find some that are Westminster people.
Robert Moten falls right outside of city lines. Even
yeah.
the original Robert Moten House or school is one step out of the historic district. And I think I've nailed down exactly where it is.
That's the corner of Charles and Church.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's the Platinum corner. And I think it probably still has really good archaeological integrity, to be honest. But it's just a step outside the historic district for this project, so it would be one we could protect if we do another project. All right, anything else we should cover with the implementation plan, Miss Melissa? Nothing tonight, okay?
Yeah, I probably sent you way more stuff than you wanted or needed, but
They can
choose
sort
what
it
they
out.
want.
They can sort it out, yeah. Alrighty, 250th.
If you don't mind me interrupting,
Sure.
Chair, can we go back to, I don't know if you got I had an amended our agenda for an item B of new
competition.
business.
I skipped right over that. I'm so sorry. Thank you for.
That's okay, I wanted to remember it.
I wanted to remember it too.
Okay.
So we have an item of new business, item B. And it is the Carroll County History Day competition theme. And so this is part of National History Day, or the national competition for history. And we've participated for many years, at least 10 years, I believe. And we've offered a cash prize. And Melissa attends the Celebrating America group, which sort of is the hub for coordinating it. And this year's theme is Revolution, Reaction, Reform in History. And so,
Yeah, I threw up on the screen here, our cash prize that you mentioned, along with a little blurb that I got from the website that just wanted to remind you what we do have out there. There is a separate section on their website about Carroll County History Day that they're looking for updated topics on that we've provided in the past, but they have scrubbed that list because the theme changed.
right.
So I just wanted to share two things tonight if possible. First, revisit the prize and see if it's what you want it to be. I have learned that sixth graders in Carroll County are required to do this project.
Well, that's why there were so many kids last time.
So I'm wondering if we would like to open it up to a sixth grade or middle school entry instead of just the high schoolers.
So I would think structurally you need to talk with the school,
Okay.
because I don't know if they would agree to that or not. And I mean, on some level it makes sense, but I don't want to do something out of step with what the school system is already doing. You know, it makes sense. I
think our contact would be Ryan Melhorn
he's social studies.
over everybody
Yeah.
for this program.
And he could explain why they're not already included.
Okay.
I think they're just using the national standards so that the winner can go to the state and then go to the nationals. And the sixth grade might be too young. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But it's worth asking.
Just looking for a way to encourage students to delve into our Westminster Historic District history. If there's any piece of incentive we could throw out there, maybe it's just a meeting with mayor or somebody.
So I have some topics I would love to toss
Right.
out on the table.
Yeah.
I would love a kid to do a research paper on all the Revolutionary War items they could see, because revolution is one of their themes. So like we did to do an inventory of Westminster structures,
Right.
I would love for them to kind of check us, you know what I mean? For them to jump in and look for historic structures and even go so far as to say anything else, a bell, anything that is remnant of the Revolutionary War.
Within our city.
Within our city,
Yeah.
yeah. And they might think that's pretty easy, but I bet it's not. And they could use resources at the Historical Society by appointment. Any place else that you get resources like that?
That's a tough one because, you know, if you are literally talking just the period of the American Revolution, there's really not much left.
Well, let's see what are
Have we ever
word.
actually awarded a prize? Because this is a really, really narrow topic and we seem to focus just on architecture, which I understand, but you're not gonna very often get students who are doing that. Is there a way to broaden that so that it's topics that occur maybe within the district that don't necessarily have to be specifically about architecture?
Well, it has to be about theme,
Right,
right?
but our, if you can go back to our,
Ours is a little bit narrow because we didn't want to be giving away prizes for balloon explorers in Africa or something.
no, it
you know?
can still be something that pertains within the district or within the city of Westminster, but isn't necessarily just focused on historic preservation and architecture. Cause that's not gonna come up in your themes too often.
Well, I gotta admit, we did write this pretty
I mean, I
closely to
understand
us.
why.
And we also put one of the biggest cash prizes of our,
Right.
thinking that we could drive people down this. But we have never awarded any, have we, Melissa?
Mm-mm.
We've never gotten anybody to look at our historic structures or buildings and tackle it. And I thought maybe at one point, well, we could widen it up to historic landscape, like the roads and the oldest part of town and how it grew. But I think that's even more esoteric than saying, look at this historic building. And it just says of highest consideration, it doesn't say it's gotta be exclusive.
The Mount Airy Historical Society examples are from this year. This current theme, so I wanted to show you a bit of this. You know, they're not directly relating it necessarily to revolution either when you look at the Civil War. So I think, or the fires. I mean, you know, I'm saying they even include the rural mail delivery system.
You know, I've never heard of, I mean, I know who Walter Rudy is, I didn't know he had anything to do in the national development of the rural mail system. And it's usually attributed to Westminster and Edwin Shriver.
So to me, and I haven't been in this game in a while, it's been like 5 years since I worked on it. All those things are interesting and Mount Airy local, but how would they compete?
Oh, moving on to the next competition?
Yeah, and that's what
Sure.
this is really supposed to be a shoot for, is to helping kids move on to the state level and then to the national
Well, it
level.
depends on how well you do it. You can take a pretty local topic, but if you do it really well, you know, you don't have to just talk about something on a national level. That's the idea, is it's
Well, one of
one
the
district.
one of the best ones I saw 5 years ago when I was judging was a young man who took Civil War, which was one of the themes, talked about where it was in Mount Airy, talked about the church that the troops were around,
Right.
Mhm.
Chapel.
talked a little bit about that, and then he moved it on to them going to Antietam and that national focus, and then kind of brought it back to a guy who participated. So he did this like narrow, wide, back to narrow. And he did very, very well, but he did sort of a movie or video. And although he did well locally, I don't know how he did on the state or national level. But we have had some state and national winners from Carroll County. And so he was able to kind of seamlessly go through talking about local stuff, relating it to larger stuff, and then nailing it home locally. And he did really well. So to me, I would see us, this doesn't say, anything is exclusive, just of highest consideration. Or of keen interest. Anyway, the competition. The competition themes are what? Revolution,
Reaction.
reaction, reform. So to me, it could be the revolution, or it could be a revolutionary figure like Sadie Miller, who even published her sports, she's a sports reporter, just under MK or something.
And she just used her initials.
She used her initials. She was an early female sports reporter.
What was her first name?
Sadie.
Sadie.
Sadie Neller, which is Kneller, Miller. And actually, all through her life, she used Charles Miller. Even though she did all kinds of things, including sneaking across the border into Mexico to interview Pancho Villa and his wife. I didn't know there was a Mrs. Pancho Villa. And she just showed up at their door and knocked, and he was so surprised. He was like, okay.
So how does that relate locally? Well, she's buried in the Westminster Cemetery, right?
Yeah.
And she did live here locally, but I've never figured out where. So it'd be nice to figure.
Well, she was a graduate of Western Maryland College.
Be nice to nail down where. To me, that would be really.
Yeah.
I mean, she lived here for some amount of time. And
Well, and her husband, even though she went all over the world doing her photography, her husband lived here. And she had a housekeeper, and every day she had the menu planned out ahead of time when she was traveling to make sure that
he
he was
ate
getting
well.
fed what she wanted him to be fed.
So where's her house? That would be really a project that I would love a kid to tackle. And you could figure that out through city directories, I would expect.
Yeah, probably.
And that's at the Historical Society.
Yeah, I guess you could. Even if you wanted that, I saw that Mount Airy talked about women's suffrage. If you want to talk about women's suffrage, because you've got the Opera House, which is where the Just Government League was founded. You've got Mary Shellman's house. She was the first president of that. Election education things in there, and there were other places where
She taught women how to vote in her home.
they said, I think in each election district, they had I forget what they actually called it, but it was like an educational place, so on election day, the woman could go there and learn how to vote and then go vote, yeah. You probably couldn't get away with it today, but yeah. Here's how to go to vote, now that's what I want you to do. So, you could do that, a lot of that was along.
And another thing that I think was revolutionary with Mary Shellman was that she ran the telephone exchange when it first opened, and she had done such an efficient job of setting things up that Alexander Graham Bell came to visit Westminster to see her set up for the phone. That's pretty revolutionary to me.
So maybe Mary Shellman herself is a revolutionary figure in a way.
But that's not Revolutionary War.
But it doesn't say Revolutionary War, it just says revolution, reform. And she certainly qualifies in terms of being a revolutionary female figure, but also a reformer with the temperance involvement and suffrage and all the other things that she did. So maybe we're reading revolution too narrowly to mean American Revolution.
And the reaction part could be distilled from the newspapers with a dad.
And again, certainly you've got the rural free delivery story here in Westminster.
But what I'm thinking of is the reaction part. Maybe people were afraid to use the phone in the beginning, or who knows what was the community reaction? Is this a wildly heralded thing, or?
Well, to be honest, not everybody wanted rural free delivery. Especially the people who ran stores and had post offices in them. they wanted people to have to come in and get their mail, so they buy in their stores. So the idea of not having their customers coming in, and that people were worried about privacy, that somebody knew all the mail that you were getting because they could see what's getting delivered, you know, and so there were a lot of concern. We just assumed that, hey, what a great idea. But it wasn't necessarily a great idea to everybody, so the idea of that was just revolutionary on its own. And Edwin Schreiber from Union Mills, but who was the postmaster here, was very involved in that. He designed the post office on wheels wagon that they used, he laid out the routes.
The Historical Society even has his workbooks.
Yeah, that scrapbook is amazing. It is an amazing resource. It includes the blueprints for the wagon.
Oh, wow.
So, Melissa, do you have some themes for us out of all that talk?
I do, and I had peeked too, so back in September of last year, we had said 5 topics related to last year was rights and responsibilities. And we hit on the first telephone office, the rural free delivery. We also talked about the significance of our district and how it's changed over time just broadly. And very heavily in the last 2 were like architecturally related, but also what rights can Westminster citizens exercise to celebrate the upcoming nation's 250th celebration. So I have written down about the rural free delivery with Edwin Schreiber, Telephone Exchange, the Just Government League, and Sadie Neller Miller, as well as just focusing on a Revolutionary Warrior item that you mentioned too. So I will put something together and send it out to you guys if you can rubber stamp it, and I'll send it to Ryan afterwards. That'd be great.
That was great. And again, you know, I would find it amazing that somebody even applied. You know,
I know.
it kind of feels like I just don't want to hand it away, but
Oh, no.
we want to have somebody apply. That would be great. Alrighty, now are we done with that new business and can scoot on down to the nation's 250th? First thing we have here is logo. How are we doing on logo?
I sent Melissa some
It's coming.
maybe not so good ideas for logo changes.
There are 8 slides all dedicated to the great logos
Great.
that Kathy has worked on. So
Wow, a great logo
let's
debate.
go through them. The idea was that we were getting rid of the ribbon and
Mhm.
changing the font for America. So roll the tape.
Ooh.
I like that one.
I'm gonna kind of flip through them quick and then we can go back slower.
And you'll see variations on some of them where I changed color. I wanted to see what that one would look like if
That's
you
why,
did it in one color, because I was afraid the ribbon might just bleed out.
Mhm. Like that too.
Oh, I like that one.
Okay, this is the last one.
So sometimes there's variations on the same one where
Yeah,
I'm swiping the colors up and.
Between 1 and 7,
Yeah,
I think you heard the most walrus claps.
I also like one.
I liked one.
1 and 7, that's the toughie.
My only suggestion would be if somehow we could get the ribbon to weave into the clock somehow to hug it. Hold it in.
Unfortunately, with that ribbon, that's clip art, so I can make
Right,
it
you
longer,
can't,
but I
yeah.
can't adjust the
You can't,
curvature
yeah.
on it. The
it's-
other,
Not much to work with on the other image either. It's just a block, unless we shave it, the background out
which one?
on the clock
clock.
itself.
Oh, I think we're making this too hard.
Yeah, I mean, if I had Photoshop, I could get it to
Right,
overlap,
You
but
know,
without
but otherwise,
Photoshop, I can't layer it any better than. Yeah, I didn't know if I liked red or blue better. The blue, I think I like better, but that's
Me
just a
too.
personal thing. And I just wanted to see if I could change the color on the clock tower, which I can, but we don't have to.
1 and 7, that's,
Yeah,
I think
agree.
it's down to 1 and 7. I like the black because it's so definitive. Oh,
what
I
does
like,
the 1 star mean then?
yeah, the 1 star being lit up, there's our meeting there.
Yeah, 13 stars, what
Oh, yeah,
different for
okay.
us?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be, those are all individual stars, so I can color each one individually.
I think I love one. What do you think, Grace?
It's like one.
We're going for the number one lobby. We love number one.
That's fine.
Can we do
Make
a
a
motion
motion.
tonight and it's done?
Does it need to go to the city council or anything? Is this a proposal to them to have them approve it or not, or do we just do it?
I should not have asked that.
Well, I was gonna take it to him anyways.
Okay.
I would also say that whatever, if this is the design, that this one is also included because it might be applicable in certain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are places where it's gonna be done all
Right.
grayscale, which is why I did that to see what, especially the ribbon, I wasn't sure how it would read in one color.
But I just love it's kind of swooping into the clock tower. It's like feeling like it's coming on in. I love it. That's great. What a good job. So is there consensus? Do we need a motion tonight that we
Sure.
recommend?
Yeah, make a recommendation.
I'm looking for a motion that we recommend number one with number two as a grayscale mirror companion to that recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion between number one and number two as a
I'm not sure that's
grayscale.
number two, I think it was number,
Number two, number three.
That's good. Okay.
which is really the same one, it's just showing how it would look when you print it in grayscale, which I'm sure we'll have to do at various times.
Do we have a second?
I guess I can second it since I designed it, I guess I can second
I didn't even motioned it.
Yeah, motion that. Sure, I second.
Great. Do we need any more discussion? Fantastic.
Yay,
Yay. All in favor?
yes.
Aye. That logo gets recommended.
All right.
Right.
Yes. Check, check, check.
I'll wait for the next.
Nope.
She's triggered on.
Street signs.
Time.
All right, so the last time we were here, we discussed a bit of a price shock and all the 157 signs. I went back to the scope and found out it was actually more than 157 because I wasn't including the double signs.
That there's two on each one.
Exactly, which isn't as many as you would think it would be, but still was. So when we scaled it back to just focusing only Main Street, it limits our scope to only 14 signs. 4 of those are the double signs. I do have a quote. It's much more affordable. We haven't even talked about it. I think I have it here in my papers. But just to confirm, we have, I wish I had a laser pointer. So as you can see on the right image, that's the look that we're going for. Ignore the blue post office sign on the bottom. But I wanted to ask you about the left image because we didn't yet look at these. So there are at least 3 instances. I want to think Center Street, probably Railroad and Liberty, where this is the sign. Should we also be looking at making these a brown historic? Because you're going along, we're focusing on the one street and then all of a sudden it just doesn't match. So I would recommend that we do look into it, but I wanted to get your feedback. Maybe you have examples of something.
So, this is my gut reaction, and I'm easily swayed, as everybody knows me. I'm easily swayed by any other logical discussion. But I have this funny feeling those are like state signs.
I don't think that they are, but obviously we will check on that.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling
No, I
they're
think I was
You're
gonna say
probably
that.
right.
kind of regulated.
I think it's a combination of ownership.
Could be.
I mean, I would
Could
love to
be.
change it, but I don't know that those are up for grabs.
I think state allows for historic, I wanna
It just might be more of
bypass
a
reaching out
process.
to the state and asking them that we want.
Asking them to replace it for us.
I think there's-
Pay for it and pay for
I
it.
think their standard is brown and white, isn't it, for historic? Down
They
to
do,
historic
they
signs,
do.
so.
And we are a certified heritage area, which is a state program on Main
Yeah.
Street. So we could ask them to pay for it.
So would we just get the same kind of sign? Like for the big one sign, would it just be the brown color or would it be that design? As the other? Or just the brown?
Well, I would shoot for the moon and get the design, but I'm not
Okay.
sure the state would let us.
Yes. Even if we just got the brown, that would be something.
For these two on the left.
Yeah,
we
big
do
ones, the larger ones, yeah.
Do a brown.
Yeah,
Brown, even I can see it in brown, it look good.
Mhm.
I think the state probably has standards for sign types and what they can put on the
Mhm.
poles, so I think it would just be the green but brown.
Yeah, that'd be.
If it's better than having green,
Yep.
because it's still trying to highlight
Yeah,
historic district.
yeah, I mean, at least the color of the other signs.
But we should be able to, push them into doing
Yeah.
that for us. I mean, I think that would be something in their wheelhouse.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we touched on that tonight.
And then would you be able to make this like a 5-year project where the other signs in town get changed out over time as well?
Like a phased out project that we can talk about.
I think that's the
Budget.
concept, yeah.
Okay.
Good. Street signs. Anything else, Melissa, you want us to think about with you?
Not under that topic.
Downtown 250th preparations. Do you have anything going?
I just went gangbusters on PowerPoints tonight. So wanted to let you know, the Carroll County group that we get together, Carroll County Downtowns, is actively working on this. It has been a slow ball rolling, but it is rolling really fast now. Carroll County GIS is actually working with us, and Carroll County Economic Development helped us coordinate this, where each of our municipalities are getting 10 locations on a story map, and I want to see if this works. So story map is the name of an ArcGIS. I need this screen. Oh, it is still showing. So this is Sykesville's. They are already doing it. We're basically mirroring ours off of theirs, but it will include Sykesville and Tawnytown and Westminster and everybody. So we're providing them now content. So what?
Oh, very cool.
I know, isn't that neat? So what we have is this Excel spreadsheet, so we know what to do, and then we'll plug and play, and then they're doing all the work for us. We're planning on April, May of next year for it to be ready, but it includes an audio portion so that you can learn about the different places. So we'll have no issues coming up with these. We already have a lot to work with, so I'm working on my spreadsheet, and I'm not sure which ones are ranking higher than others, and I would love your feedback when I'm at that point. And we can help figure out how to narrow down the words to 150 or less. But it's great because it includes hyperlinks to places. So if there's a business included, we can have that as a clickable link to their website. And then they hired somebody to do the audio.
Sounds like AI.
It does, doesn't it? It wasn't. It was someone who actually went to the Carroll County Media Center
Really?
and did that. So we're planning on doing the same thing. So yeah, we're excited about that.
Wow, very cool.
And to me, so you're very familiar with our walking tour brochures and all of that. It's all there already.
Yeah.
It just needs to be updated into this format. So that's exciting.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So that to me is downtown because we're really limiting our story to that section. Another thing that we're talking about is the possibility of purchasing flags, but we haven't quite narrowed down what exactly we want them to be.
Not that.
Well, where's the picture taken from?
I was thinking that too.
So
Is that from their website?
it is.
So does it make you feel that means you can do it?
Well,
Yeah, but
I
you
believe
Yeah, that's
It
just,
does.
that just cracks me up.
Originally, they said that everybody could use it, but now it seems.
I believe you can purchase from their website. If we want to purchase from their site, we can buy as much as we want.
Right.
But
So that's-
take it and put it on our stuff.
Correct. So that's the question. Would it be beneficial to include this? Should we include the Maryland Commission? Should we include the Carroll one? If we're doing it countywide, the thought was we would at least get one banner for the county logo and then have our own logos on some flags as well.
I really would like that because I hate to say it, that red county logo just doesn't say red, white, and blue to me. It just says red with a star. So to me, I would much rather see ours with 250.
As many city ones as we can
Yes,
muster up. Great.
yes.
Okay. We talked about bunting at length, and then a cool idea one of you guys had was to make those the stickers.
Mhm.
So once we have them up on the building, we can replicate that in a little city hall with banners. I have concerns about city hall because we have such beautiful trees now. I was walking around, it is actually very difficult to even see this building. Unless you're right up on the
Yeah.
driveway.
It's hard to, when we were doing the Carroll County Then and Now book. Luckily, we were shooting in like in February, so there are no leaves on the trees, but all the downtowns have these beautiful trees now and you can't see the buildings. And we were trying to match these great 19th century photos where there were no trees.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, this was a problem we didn't figure on. Luckily, we're doing it at the time of year when the trees aren't leafed out yet. But it's hard.
Yeah, so I was disappointed to think about how it might not be as pretty in pictures as you can imagine, but there's drones now.
Yeah.
Swoop on in, get it, we'll figure out a way.
Well, not only that, but
Yeah.
you gotta think about all the foot traffic.
Mhm.
And it's people, if there's something to look at that gets them out of their cars, maybe that's kind of a way to look at it. It's an investment in pedestrians rather than the cars.
And then they'll see it during festivals like the Art in the Park, we had the Fall Fest. I mean, there's a lot of people around here because everybody great parks up around here.
All the strolls.
They have the strolls, yeah.
So we have another idea that came out of the county idea, if we could get some of it, but I was thinking just for Westminster, would this be something you all are interested in? A window painting contest, possibly?
Yeah, as long as it's temporary and doesn't damage the windows.
So we'll see how we get on that, if we have options that we want to do. However, if it does become a county thing, we're gonna wanna jump on it, if everybody's doing it, of course. So that's the only thing right now that's happening downtown related.
Fabulous. And have we thought about maybe writing a letter to downtown, just saying, hey, the 250th is coming up, you wanna spruce up? Do we think there'll be facade grants? Do we think there'll be
We sure hope so. We've applied,
Maple
we're
Street or
waiting.
whatever that was old grants they had?
We do have an application date. So if funding is available, round one will be February 10th, 2026.
Would be nice to just tell our businesses and community downtown that, this is the time to really spruce up. Like the 250th is coming, we wanna look great for July 2026 and to help you, facade grants and this grants.
I was hoping we would get that letter out with our letter on the inventory. Because we're already planning on doing a direct mailing piece with that project. And I would be happy to dovetail that in, if we
Makes
can make
sense.
sure we can get one stamp on it, on the letter.
Makes
Um,
sense.
Well, I could even encourage people, if they wanna buy an America 250 flag from the official website, to put up on their buildings.
Yeah.
Or if we wanted to say, if you're interested that, if we purchase in quantity, we can get a discount, we can get it from the city, yes.
What about that
Or
one?
decorating contest.
The decorating contest.
Yeah, that's in here too. I don't mean to step on it, I wanted to make sure I included it all.
That's
Is that coming
great.
up next? It is. All right,
Great. So
Black.
Grace sent us these via email. Thank you, Grace. But we haven't had any resolution.
yes, I know, but you know what? Has anyone been by the plaque at Belgrove Square?
I drove by it.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
That's classy. That looks a lot like number 2. Or
Mm-hmm.
1 or 3.
Is this the new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a two.
I just like, all these. I think probably number 3 was really more what I was thinking about, something small, not so wordy.
I like number one.
I like number 1 too. But people have to be willing to put these up on their buildings.
Yeah.
Can't be too big.
No.
And number 4 is what I have at my house.
It's really time to get a letter out for them specifically too. And we have that list of specific homes that we would use.
Mhm.
Here too.
But what do you guys say? Let's pick a plaque. I'd say number 3.
Larry might be the least expensive too, maybe because it's not too.
I mean, I can't tell because there's no real scale, but to me, number 3 looks about like what I'd be thinking.
So I imagine that they come in different sizes.
Oh. Sorry, I think I have to fit it on one page.
So somebody on the National Register of Historic Places could also be a 250th, right? Membership plaque.
Yeah, because all of our downtown is on the National Register,
Well, but these plaques you were saying specifically relate to
the 250.
the revolution.
250th. They're gonna look similar.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. They're not gonna be bolding saying National Register of Historic Places, probably. They're gonna say this building's being recognized for to commemorate the 250th. That way it keeps us,
Yeah, no 2 words.
away from saying this building was standing here 250 years ago. It just says it's part of the commemoration. What do you guys think? Can you narrow it down to one of these 5?
Yeah, I think the basic rectangle is pretty simple. It's not gonna be too obnoxious on anybody's house. And I'm sure it comes in different sizes.
What do you think, Grace? What do you like?
I like 3. I like 1, but I like 3 too. I like simplicity.
Well, so let's say a matter of preference and put it in a motion that number 3 is preferred, but number 1 is also an acceptable option. And don't know if council wants to see all this too, but we'll leave that tomorrow.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna have any say. I think they're gonna have a say over the 250th. I don't think they'll have a say on this. I think this is more just a notification. Hey, by the way, we're contacting. And in this, I think it's more just letting Sarah know and she can make them aware of it.
Great. So then we'll just, for Melissa's sake, we'll say 3 is preferred, number 1's acceptable, and we'll let her look into the cost of it all.
I think it's, in this case, I think it's more if we send letters out that the mayor, common council, if they get a phone call,
Yeah,
know what's going on.
What are you?
It's a great idea, thank you, or something.
Fancy ones.
Well, now imagine that
What are you trying to do to us now?
Yeah.
when you're sending letters out to people that they're gonna wanna know the shape and how big it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, they don't.
It's not
something
fancy,
that take 4 guys to haul up and nail to the front of their house.
yeah, I think we would need to have 1 person installing them, the same person.
Yeah.
Whether that be our folks or maybe a contractor we hire to do it. And then would we be fronting the cost for these? And then,
I think we gotta figure out what the cost is, yeah.
Yeah.
and if we need to ask for it,
Oh, from the homeowners?
right?
It's an honorary thing. You would be asking them, they won't participate.
Okay.
Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
Okay.
probably.
We either spring for this or we.
Would you be okay if, like, is there a minimum percentage that we would do? Like, is 1 house okay? Is 2 homes? Like, is there a minimum that we wanna move forward? If half do it, great. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't wanna do it if only 3 people have signed up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you do.
Maybe the letter is this, we're considering this, that,
Yeah, we're
trying to get,
engage
or
interest.
engaging
Would you
interest, exactly.
participate?
And then would you be willing to participate? And then that'll give us an understanding plus cost too. If it's only 5 people, if I with 5 people, maybe like we pay for that.
Right.
I mean, I live right down there. Like, most of them I could just go talk to. If they have any questions or concerns, put my name and number on that letter. And I'm happy to go sell it.
Oh, okay. Oh.
But I just don't know of a memorial plaque program that any city's done where they actually charge people for the plaques.
Okay.
That's usually an honorary thing that actually you're hoping people participate in because then they value their building even more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a selling item actually for real estate. See, people make it valuable.
Yes, it is.
Good. All right, do we have a direction for this month, Melissa, and plaques?
We do,
Okay.
and then if you wanna talk more about your contest.
Well, who's doing the letter for the plaques?
Figured it was me, but I'm happy to have any help.
Oh, we'll help you.
I think we also have to make it clear that this is not gonna affect your property or you're not having, this is solely just recognizing your property. I don't want people to think, oh, they want, I'm now in the historic district and now I have these regulations against me.
Well,
It's
worse,
pretty clear, it's just.
now that I have a sign, does that mean people get to come in my house?
Yeah.
I think we just have to make, at least
Very
something
clear.
that says, yeah, this is commemorative only, it doesn't alter your property or allow anybody to enter.
Yeah, you're not
It's just-
required to open your house 6 days a
Exactly,
year
yeah.
or something like that.
Well, I hate to
Subject
say,
to any regulations or any additional.
I've had people actually walk into my house and say, isn't there an insurance agency here? And it's like, no, that was two doors down 50 years ago. And also I've had people walk in my house and say, oh, we just assumed this was a rental building. No, it's just one person's home. It's your home. So people will step in the house for whatever reason they want, when they see a sign up. So,
That's crazy.
yeah. Okay, plaques. Next, are we done with the plaques? Good.
Yep. Did Grace wanna talk about the contest?
Yeah, we discussed this last month and I came up with a little form on with an idea of how people could decorate. And I think I had to scratch the gold off.
Why?
I just, red, white, and blue's fine, gold seemed to me to be getting into gilding every style
Yeah.
of certain buildings. And I didn't wanna go into the politics that might be involved in
Remember the gold?
that. But red, white, and blue, I think is
I
fine.
scratched the gold off, look at that.
Think it's a one.
So I was trying to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would like to move
And then
forward with this.
these links were just the ones included in an email back with
Oh.
comments from Kathy. I didn't take the time to actually put pictures in, which is what I think the intent was. Download a picture, just giving examples of how.
Of how it
Yeah,
has been done,
decorated.
yeah, and I wasn't
Yes,
sure, just
It's great. Yeah, so we
we
can,
want to
That
get
works.
permission to
Okay.
use those to give people ideas of what. Or if you just want maybe one of those to be sort of on the form of, hey, we're having this big contest.
What are they gonna
you
win?
guys want.
Just recognition? Bragging rights?
Certificate or something, bragging right?
Certificate and bragging rights.
Oh, yeah, no,
Simple.
no blow up stuff.
Yes.
No inflatables?
No inflatable, thank you.
Feather signs.
A big turkey. For Thanksgiving, big turkey with.
The thing of it too, once you send out an invite and you say, keep it classy, do not do this, that's when you have that one guy who's gonna do all the opposite things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola polar bear with a flag over his shoulders is classy.
Got an inflatable Paul Revere on horseback.
Yeah.
There is a website just for yard inflatables.
Yes.
I could see somebody coming up with one of those wheels, light shows on their garage. Of, various Faneuil Hall and other Revolutionary War images, so that, I can see
So
somebody
yeah, I
doing
don't
that.
know if, we wanted to be able to give people some suggestions of how it's been done in the past at various events or.
Creation needs to go away.
Tell me creative. Well, why don't you say something like, so that it could be judged at noon, because then that'll leave all the stars at night. Daytime judging, so that they don't illuminate the garage.
No illuminations. No illuminations.
Now, is this geared just to residential?
I would say commercials, I mean, maybe you have a division, maybe you have a residential division and a commercial division.
Yeah.
Kind of like the holiday decorating concept.
We do the mayor's decorating contest, that's been going on since the 80s.
Yeah,
That's
so
always
maybe
really
doing
nice.
that.
Yeah.
That's always really nice, and they don't go overboard.
Bring it on the calendar, maybe we could throw some dates out there, so I would assume this is more of a Memorial through July thing, or are we talking about
Thing.
June and July?
Let's do June and July.
Okay.
We don't want to conflate Memorial Day stuff.
Yeah.
It's already a bit cluttered at that time.
Okay.
This could really be working up to.
Maybe we do the
4th of July.
judging on June sixth, isn't that Flag Day? Or June 14th is Flag Day?
Oh, that's a good idea.
I like that.
And then leave it up for the summer.
Or as long as they want.
Yeah, exactly.
At least the 4th of
Jump
July, and they can take it down anytime after that. So they would have to have it up in order to be judged on June 14th.
What day is that?
A Sunday.
Oh, easy.
Oh, that's perfect.
That'll give us a chance to go.
Yeah.
We'll have whole weekend to consider.
That is a good idea.
And do we want to have them register by a certain date? So that, we have enough time to make those judging? Like if we judge on the 14th and announce it, we really should have it up by
June 1st.
June 1st.
So register by June 1st?
So the announcement can be made on Flag Day.
I like doing forms on our website. I would just create another form for this that they would sign up officially for.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Just reuse the, and then the mayor's cup.
true,
Yeah,
yes.
And when they put something in with like a water bill or something,
That'd be good too.
cause some people don't, older people don't do vegan.
Everybody takes a quick look at that little newsletter.
Yeah, I always read it.
I love that, it's nice.
Excellent.
Awesome, and then this was just. Oh, is that working anymore?
We're getting on
We
that.
already talked about this.
Yep.
I think the last thing for me was this, just a reminder. That we had liked this and then we brought it to, at least verbally to council. So now the tree's not looking great.
No, it's not. I just was saying.
Okay.
we noticed that. But it's been really dry, so
It has been.
I would imagine they're not having the time to go and water it every day or something, so.
But it is looking sad.
A little bit. So we'll move on to the next topic.
Okay.
We'll hold that.
Next
You
topic.
can change the logo on that.
Can we get a sweet tree person to look at us?
Yeah, we can, I'll ask.
Cause
No,
they're
it's fine. I
amazing
feel like
what they
we
can do.
discussed a lot today.
Yeah, we really did. And lastly, I think we want to just hit on the Belgrove Square thing, commemoration here. And I just want to report that as a kickoff activity, I cannot imagine it going better.
Good.
Other than it would have been nice to have a few more people. But we didn't have a small crowd. It was a short event, so we didn't need chairs. Our elected officials all did what we asked them to do. You know, Eric Boucher spoke a little bit. The mayor did the proclamation. We had Patrick Henry there for color. The DAR girls kept it short. And we all, we read the creed and we read the a part of the preamble for the Constitution, because we always do that every time the DAR meets. We do that little part. And overall it was very, very simple, but it was also really nice. Kevin Dayhoff did a prayer, and that was also really well done, really thoughtful. He really crafted it to match the event rather than just sort of generalized, a little bit of diction kind of thing. It was very good. And I have to say, I felt like it all went off without a hitch. The SAR came and did a little honor guard flag thing and marched in the flag. So it really was nice, I gotta say, for, nice and short, crisp and well done. I was really proud to be part of it. So, and I think the plaque is lovely. I was thinking it was more like a metal with an enamel, but it's actually, molded bronze.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's great. It's great. So, next up, when it comes to plaques in the city, the SAR should be doing one for the Westminster Cemetery. And I think they're gonna push it off till next year so they can say, 2026 on this was dedicated, so.
Makes sense.
I had hoped, I was kind of pushing because I heard we were accepted and I thought, well, let's do it in November, like the next step. But I really think they wanna wait until that January page turns for 2026. That's what we're looking at. Could be chilly.
Well, you know, this do it in January or something.
Well, I might push them to put it up till March, so the ground does at least come down.
Ground is frozen, they can't put it in anyway, so.
Can't put it in the ground for now.
But anyway, we were all watching to see what could be done better for the SAR ceremony. All the main players of the SAR were there. So I know they were paying attention, because ours at the Westminster Cemetery for the SAR will be the first in the state of Maryland. So, they don't really know what kind of ceremony they wanna do or anything, and so I can't imagine they could do much better than get music maybe.
Well, hopefully there's a couple of other cemeteries that could. You got the historic Shriver Cemetery, the David Shriver, and you got the Gist family cemetery with Joshua Gist, so hopefully those cemeteries will get on board with getting marked by the SAR.
Well, I have to say, it was pure chance that I heard from Ed Spano, who is in Virginia, at one of the meetings in Frederick, that this programming even existed. When I contacted the Carroll County chapter of the SAR, they didn't really know anything about it. And so I think you really have to push this stuff from behind the scenes. And if those cemeteries don't have anybody doing that, I don't know how it's gonna happen.
Well, the Shriver Graveyard is actually a 501c3. It's actually its own nonprofit, so they should be pretty easy to get hold of. Grab something, Sam Riley's here or something like that. But, obviously all the members of their board are Shrivers. The Gist one, I don't really know who is on the team with that, but the Shriver Graveyard should be. Give them knowledge.
As far as I know, it's ground up. I don't know that SAR has made any decisions to pursue this on any kind of regular basis. So we're the ground that pushed it. I don't know how it's gonna work for any other cemetery. Alrighty. Anything else on 250? Have we covered what we need to cover tonight? Seems like we will. Then we move on to the Historic Commission and public comments. Kathy, have you got anything for the good of the order? No. Grace, have you got anything? Nope, your comments was a big contribution. So that was fun. It's fun. Yep. All right, involved. So just from my point of view, Belgrove Square was the completion of a mini grant. And the DAR is getting their paperwork in to call it a day. So that is getting done. Westminster Cemetery, we're so close to having that website done. I know I've said that over and over again, but we really got pretty close. And the freeing some more attention on the implementation historic resurvey work for the city. So the street signs or the tree park, Yep. Okay. The due date's October 31st. So if you want me to work on that, let me know more, so we'll talk later. It's 50-50 grant. So as long as we're planning on doing it anyway. But really can expand. And these are legacy projects, and they like things that last beyond the day, the programming date or whatever. Alrighty, and do we have any comments from city staff that you'd like to share tonight?
We met with the 59 West Main, this is the one next to the laptop to the left. About fixing up the building outside. We got to I guess there's lead paint on the exterior. So they're going to remove the lead paint, repaint the building. But it seems like they are amenable to removing that, whatever that addition was on the face of it, get it back to the original look. So just preliminary discussions with them, and you can mention the side approval program and the tax credits. And so that'll be that whole block, as you can see, is improving and grants and everything else. It'd be nice if we get this building as well. That'd be great.
That particular property was the Montour house. House dog.
You have to research it more.
This is one of the early hotels.
I remember that song. It just, yeah, I have to look it up. So I thought about it. What's happening with Green Street? Just next to the. So they have met with us, they did submit a site plan. That's the next step that tells us, that's gonna be a cost and the management review and everything else. So then we'll have to come back to you and to planning and zoning commission to really come back and confirm that what we originally approved is still gonna hold true to the site plan. But it's a good sign. It means that they are ready to move forward with it. We were a little worried I was gonna sit there, so hopefully they found funding. And hopefully as we move forward, I'll get more information as to if they do have somebody that's ready to build and what their plans are for development.
We're gonna be bringing back 205. Post construction next month.
Oh, great.
And
I've been watching that.
that's it, for now.
Yeah, it's like close I hope I don't. That's all.
So, yeah, that's it.
All right, well, thank you very much. Then with that, I think we move toward